Imagine taking something as ordinary as a bucket of sand, adding a liquid you probably already have in your kitchen, and ending up with a material that looks nothing like the loose grains you started with. It sounds almost too simple. But the real story is even more interesting. For centuries, builders experimented with ways to turn loose mineral materials into durable, stone-like structures long before modern bags of ready-mix became the default. And today, some of those old ideas are worth revisiting, not because they magically beat every modern material, but because they reveal how much engineering can hide inside very simple ingredients. Think about what happens when a crack appears in concrete, a garden wall starts breaking apart, or a masonry surface begins to crumble. The usual answer is another bag of repair compound, another trip to the hardware store, and another temporary-looking patch. Modern construction materials are incredibly useful, but they are also designed around speed, consistency, transportation, and predictable commercial production. That leaves an interesting question. Before all of those products existed, how did people create binders strong enough to hold sand, stone, and other minerals together? The answer isn't one secret recipe. It is an entire family of old building techniques based on lime, mineral aggregates, water, and chemical reactions that can continue long after the material appears dry. And that distinction matters. The fascinating part isn't the idea that vinegar somehow turns sand into steel. It doesn't. The fascinating part is understanding what actually happens when an acid interacts with calcium-containing minerals, and why historical builders were so interested in controlling those reactions. Vinegar contains acetic acid, a relatively mild acid. When an acid encounters certain calcium-based materials, it can dissolve some of the calcium and produce calcium acetate. That doesn't automatically create a super material. The final result depends on the minerals involved, the proportions, moisture, curing conditions, and, most importantly, the chemistry of the binder that forms as the material hardens. In traditional masonry, lime-based binders have been used for thousands of years because they can gradually react with carbon dioxide and transform back toward calcium carbonate. The sand isn't becoming a new metal. Instead, a binder is forming around the grains and holding them together. Think of the sand as thousands of tiny pieces of gravel floating around in a box. By itself, there is almost nothing forcing those pieces to stay together. A binder changes that. It acts like the glue between the particles, filling gaps and creating a continuous structure. That's the basic principle behind mortar, concrete, plaster, and many other composite materials. The surprising thing is that changing the binder can completely change how the finished material behaves. This is where the old world stories become useful, but also where we need to separate history from internet mythology. Historical builders absolutely used lime mortars, shell-based materials, volcanic materials, clay, ash, and other mineral ingredients. Ancient Roman concrete is a famous example of how sophisticated early builders could be with mineral chemistry. Traditional lime construction also survived for generations in many regions because properly made and maintained masonry can be remarkably durable. But a dramatic claim such as sand plus vinegar becomes stronger than steel should immediately make you skeptical. Steel and stone are measured in different ways, and compressive strength, tensile strength, toughness, flexibility, and durability are not interchangeable. A material can be extremely strong in one test and still be completely unsuitable for a structural application. That is why professional engineers don't judge a building material from how hard it feels when you hit it with a hammer. So why does the vinegar idea keep sounding convincing? Because there is a real chemical reaction hiding inside it. Acetic acid can react with calcium carbonate, which is found in materials such as limestone and shells. You can actually observe this reaction when vinegar is poured over limestone or a piece of chalk. Bubbles appear as carbon dioxide is released. That tells us something important. The acid is interacting with the mineral. But a visible reaction isn't proof that the final mixture will become a superior construction material. And that is the bigger lesson. Chemistry gives you possibilities, not guarantees. Historically, builders learned this through observation. They experimented with different sands, different sources of lime, different firing temperatures, different curing environments, and different mineral additives. A recipe that worked beautifully with one local stone might behave completely differently somewhere else. Even the size and shape of sand particles can influence how tightly a mixture packs together. Modern construction science simply took that experimentation much further. Engineers can now measure particle size, porosity, moisture content, chemical composition, curing rate, compressive strength, tensile behavior, freeze-thaw resistance, and long-term durability. Instead of asking whether a mixture looks strong, they can ask exactly how it behaves under controlled conditions. That brings us to an important question. If traditional mineral binders can work so well, why don't you see them replacing every bag of concrete at the hardware store? Part of the answer is convenience. Modern cement-based products can be manufactured at enormous scale, shipped almost anywhere, mixed predictably, and designed around standardized specifications. Contractors know what to expect from them. Building codes know how to evaluate them. Insurance companies and engineers know how to work with tested products. That infrastructure matters. It isn't necessary to imagine a secret organization hiding an ancient recipe. Sometimes a technology disappears simply because another technology is faster, easier to standardize, easier to transport, or better suited to the economy of the time. A traditional material may be excellent for one job and completely impractical for another. And there is another fascinating point. The old methods weren't necessarily primitive. In many cases, they were highly adapted to local materials. A builder could look at the sand available nearby, understand the local climate, select a suitable binder, and develop a process through years of experience. Modern construction replaced much of that local knowledge with standardized products, which is incredibly useful, but it also means many people no longer understand what is happening chemically inside the materials around them. So, if you're curious about experimenting with this idea, don't start by repairing your foundation or building something that carries a roof. Start with observation. Make a tiny, non-structural test specimen using a mineral binder system intended for experimental purposes and compare it with a control sample. Change only one variable at a time. Use one type of sand in one sample and another in the next. Compare different binder proportions. Record the amount of water or liquid used. Keep the samples at the same temperature. Let them cure for the same amount of time. Then examine them. Does the surface crumble? Does it remain intact? Does it absorb water quickly? Does it develop cracks? Does the result change after several weeks? These questions are far more valuable than simply hitting a block with a hammer and declaring it stronger than concrete. And if you're specifically interested in the vinegar and lime concept, remember what the vinegar is actually doing. It isn't turning sand into metal. It is participating in a chemical reaction with certain minerals. The important question is what happens afterward, and whether the resulting binder has the properties required for the job you're considering. There's also a safety issue that deserves more attention than it usually gets in viral DIY videos. Acids can react with minerals and metals, and concentrated or improperly handled chemicals can cause burns, irritating fumes, or unexpected reactions. Lime products can also be hazardous to skin and eyes. Never experiment with unknown mixtures inside a closed container, and never combine household chemicals simply because a video claims the result will be stronger. Wear appropriate eye and skin protection, work in good ventilation, and keep experimental materials away from children and pets. Most importantly, don't use an untested homemade mixture for foundations, load-bearing walls, structural repairs, retaining structures, or anything where failure could injure someone. If a building needs structural repair, use a qualified professional and materials appropriate to local building requirements. A fascinating experiment is one thing. Trusting an untested recipe with your house is something else entirely. There is also a reason the original story sounds so powerful. It connects a simple physical experiment with a larger idea. Maybe we don't need more complicated solutions for every problem. Sometimes understanding basic materials can make us smarter consumers. Instead of automatically buying the most expensive product on the shelf, we can ask what it contains, what chemical process makes it work, and whether there is a simpler way to solve the actual problem. That's the philosophy behind Hidden Fix Lab. Not believing every mysterious claim. Not rejecting modern technology either. Instead, looking underneath the surface and asking what is really happening. Because the most useful hidden knowledge isn't always a secret formula written in an ancient notebook. Sometimes it's a basic principle that was sitting in front of us the entire time. Sand is just particles. A binder is what connects them. Chemistry determines how that connection forms. Time determines how it develops. And testing tells you whether the result is actually useful. That may sound less dramatic than saying a kitchen ingredient can create something stronger than steel, but it is much more interesting because it is real science you can investigate. The next time you walk past a cracked wall, an old stone building, or even a bag of construction material at a hardware store, look at it differently. Ask what holds it together. Ask why it lasts. Ask why another material fails. And ask whether the solution you're being sold is the only solution, or simply the most convenient one. That mindset can save money, prevent bad decisions, and sometimes lead you toward ideas that have been overlooked for generations. The goal isn't to recreate the past perfectly. It's to understand why some old ideas worked, where they failed, and what modern science can teach us about them. Because once you understand the material instead of simply trusting the label, you stop being just a consumer of building products. You become someone who knows how to question them, and sometimes that is where the real hidden fix begins.